feels like the draft. DraftBeat, 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 DraftBeat. DraftBeat, 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 DraftBeat. DraftBeat, 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 DraftBeat. Draft. DraftBeat, 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 DraftBeat. DraftBeat, 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 DraftBeat. DraftBeat, 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 DraftBeat. It feels like the draft. Oh, that's everybody's favorite theme song. It is Tuesday, so welcome back to another Draft Beat edition of Miami Heat Beat. But of course, it could never be Draft Beat if it wasn't for these two gentlemen right here. But let's start always with my co-founder, co-creator, co-producer, best friend. Maybe we'll hang out someday. Maybe we'll go to the movies and do something. Maybe we'll do a movie podcast someday. I don't know, a stream beat we'll call it. It is Franky G!
What is up? Let's talk Hope Bigs and hope they don't trade this pick.
Yeah, listen, it's gonna happen. We're still going to work hard, and we're still going to do the process, and there is nobody that is working harder at Draft Beat than this man over here on this side. Someday I'm going to nail it. It is Coach Lou, Mr. Saucy Takes, the one and only man that is going to force us to talk about every single guy in the draft. Coach Lou, how we doing?
What is up, man? Finally, it's June. The draft is in the air. It's officially draft season. It's draft month. There's so much to be excited about. There's so much to be excited.
It's a bit, but you are a sick fuck. And let me tell you why. In the middle of the season, before we even really started talking like, oh, maybe we can start tanking and stuff, this guy was sending us questions about second round guys and possible undrafted guys. And he was just like ready to go. Nobody gets more excited for the position breakdown episodes than Lou, because this is where he shines.
Lou's a sicko. I just want to emphasize that enough. Lou one time, he hears about a rising second rounder. Last year, he sent me. He digged very deep in his resources, found game tape on a guy who was climbing up the boards, fell in love with him because he was not bad at anything. He wasn't good at anything, but not bad at anything. That's Lou's thing. He's like, Franky, I really need you to dive into this hour of Pacome Daddier. I'm like, there's no way in fucking hell I'm doing that last year. And I mean, frankly, my laziness was right.
Yeah, it worked out for all of us. But you know what? Everybody has a type. Lou likes guys that are just all right, and I like guys that are fully white, which brings us to our first guy. Maybe. I don't know what order we're going in. Let's see what the producer has. Let's see if we're going with the main list. Yoan Behringer. Oh, this fucking guy. Yeah.
Oh, God.
No, we're definitely okay. Let's just get this guy out of the way.
Please.
Go ahead, Lou.
I'm just going to kick it over to Lou. It was a perfect setup because he is a sick fuck. And the only reason we're talking about this guy is because Lou wants to. So with all these guys, I'm going to give you 3 little nuggets, and then I'm going to let Lou just run with it. So for Yoan Behringer out of Croatia, shout out Croatia, 6'10" center, 18 years old. I'm going to give you some little spicy nuggets here. 7 blocks versus the Partizan Juniors, whoever the fuck that is. The MVP at the Adidas Next Gen game. Granted, it was the Croatia division, so not as many people, but MVP over there. And it says here that he is emotionally charged. Sometimes he overdoes it. It was ChatGPT. Lou, tell me what it is about Yoan Behringer that has you so excited.
Draft GPT.
Yeah.
Draft GPT. No, to be very honest, in much of the same vein that last year we didn't want to talk about bigs, but we just want to make sure we cover all the bases, or at least I was like, kind of wanted to make sure we at least touch on somebody who's, Javonte has him 15th. He had him as high as 13th during the process. I saw 2 other guys have him in the top 20. So he's very much in the Heat's range. With that being said, I think the only positive thing I can say about the guy is that he is 18 years old. He's about 6'11", 235, 7'3" wingspan. Nice mobility, very functional athlete, good in transition. it stops there. Like there's nothing
He's
else.
just incredibly raw. And,
He
and granted,
is-
like, he's 18 years old, and
Yeah.
it comes with the territory. But his offense just, I mean, for him to be ranked 15th by Javoni, I was actually shocked to hear that.
Yeah, so he's like one of the youngest players, but not just that. He started playing basketball at 14 and he's 18, so he's only been playing basketball for 4 years. I know like we make fun of like obviously he is in the Croatian basketball league and that's not saying much, but he's playing for the best team in the Croatian basketball league. Not only is he playing on the best team, he was supposed to be on the reserve roster and he ended up making the regular team and getting rotation minutes. So like he's playing a very niche role, like just roll to the basket, play hard. You know, ironically, probably some of the things you'd want from a third big. I just think he's too far away to give you that in NBA minutes just because he does not know where to be on defense. Like he did they tried every coverage. I was like, oh, maybe he's not good in drop. Maybe he's an at the level guy, worse and at the level. I was like, okay, he's mobile. He should be good at hedging. Doesn't know where to he doesn't know how to blitz. Like it was horrible.
So you love this guy. He's just like he's just okay.
No, it's a pure project, but like, you know, like in some of the ways that he took Kalel last year, and he was what I thought was going to be a project pick, especially defensively. Like Beringer has some of those traits. Like he's athletic, he's big, he's lanky, skinny. Not saying they're the same guy whatsoever because he can't like Beringer has no jump shot, 55% at the free throw line. You do not like he's purely a roll big. And that's basically, I think that's too much time on Joan Beringer.
Yeah, no, I already want to move off him. So
yeah. If you're listening to this, that's a name we are fucking clapping if it gets called in the first 19 and it's not to them. We are taking shots like it's a party if he goes
right.
Before
Right. We
2 years away from
Kalel
being 2 years away.
So.
Yeah.
Exactly.
2 years, perfect.
I stepped on that, Moose. My bad.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But listen, the main reason we want to talk about bigs, besides the fact that we go through every single position, and this is the easiest one, is because realistically at 20, I think we all agree we just got to go BPA, take a swing, and see what realistically falls into our lap. So you cannot just say we took Ware last year. We can just forget about the centers. No, you need to be prepared for whoever 100%. Is possibly there.
For sure. And like the trades, you know, you don't know if they trade Ware and they need a drafter's replacement. So
and that seems you know, all options are on the table. I think we're all expecting some serious shakeup. So okay, wait, can we move on, Lou? Are you good with that? Anything else you want to say about this guy?
No.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. Moving on to, okay. I like this next one. We're going to go over to a freshman out of Georgia, power forward, 6'10", Asa Newell. Okay, now some nuggets here that I actually already knew. The former 5-star McDonald's All-American. He's got a 7'2" to almost like 7.5 wingspan. It's crazy. He played at the IMG Academy, and he was with Team USA, the under-18 league. The guy is a pogo stick. I mean, just an athletic freak. Has a rare set of skill sets, if you will. But he's got to be reined in a little bit. Lou or Frankie, wherever we want to start here, if you guys can just talk to me a little bit about Asa, because there's definitely something there. This guy is a lottery. He looks like a lottery pick, but he needs some refinement.
Yeah. I mean, I'll start this one, Frank. Yeah. You know, Frankie's got some of the fun guys later on too, man. I'm gonna give it to him. But Asa Newell, man, a lot to like about this guy. First of all, like his motor energy jumps off the tape. Like he never felt like he was a freshman. Like he was one of the most consistent players I saw in this whole draft process, aside from like Cooper Flag. But who's talking about him? Am I right? But he was ridiculously consistent every game. It didn't matter who the opponent was. You knew what you were getting out of Asa Newell. Like his effort was going to be there. He was going to grab offensive rebounds. Like I don't even know. This guy had incredible awareness too. Like he's very active. One of the fun tidbits, speaking of Cooper Flag, he was the second highest freshman in offensive box plus minus, only behind Cooper Flag. So offensively, even though he's not somebody who's quite as polished, like, the three, he shot like 30% from three. I think his jump shot looks fine. I don't think there's anything stopping me from saying he's a projectable shooter, pick and pop guy down in the future in the league. Like he's only 19, like Moose said. Shot 36% on open threes. Like, the signs are there. He just needs some refinement. A lot of the guys that should be in this range are like, none of them are going to be perfect, but a lot of things to like about him. Again, motor, offensive rebounding, only behind Cayman Malawak, who's also a top 10 pick in this draft. Like highest offensive rebound percentage out of every freshman, only behind Cayman Malawak.
That's a great stat, Lou. And I was actually going to make a point that it definitely shows, because I want to say it was against Alabama. There were two particular games where he was just dominating the offensive glass. And granted, he wasn't their leading scorer on offense or anything, but all of the energy was going through him. It was really fun to see his teammates kind of feeding off him. And especially, coming from a freshman, that's rare to see.
100%. And he's a guy that, we have to acknowledge that he likely goes before 20. Yep. This is a guy that we've seen, like, this is a weird draft. A lot of teams have multiple picks all over the draft. There's teams ready to make moves, move off contracts. So the mock drafts are super inconsistent. A lot of guys stayed in college too. So like everything's like kind of wonky right now. It's really hard to project. We're going to talk about guys that probably don't come anywhere near 20. But we just want to cover our bases, like you said. And Newell's just one of those guys that, like, we can definitely see why the Heat would be enamored by him. We don't have much reporting on any bigs that they're interested in yet. So we're guessing completely for this one, just looking for the range. But like Lou said, the jump shot 74.8% at the free throw line. The form looks nice. I think it's just reps that he has to get in, and and just consistent practice, work on the shot prep, working with an NBA shooting coach, trainers and stuff. I think that should help. He's got good touch, 72.9% at the rim, 48.9% assisted. Wow, that's a lot of offensive putbacks, a lot of creation, and like I said, like, he's an athlete. He's got great form. I think he's raw defensively, but he still makes an impact. And I don't love the fit, because I think he's more of a 4 that 100%. We're hoping he shoots. And I see him making a lot more sense for other teams. But like, if they're going to take a project guy, like, he's better than a lot of the guys in that range.
Yeah, he's absolutely a 4. Lou, I want to kick it back to you. He's absolutely a 4, but I want to ask you guys, because there were times where I was watching him and I was saying to myself, I think I could see him more at the 3. If that shot develops, I think I could see him at the 3, because although he is amazing offensive rebounder and all that, I think that length on the perimeter on the defense, that's something that if I'm Spo, I could see trying to move him around.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like, I think he'll stay a 4, especially if, like, we're keeping this Heat focused. Just because I do think if like, for whatever reason, him, Bam, and Ware are on the floor together, I think Bam's going to be the one who's going to be guarding threes and things of that nature, because he's just more fit for it. But yeah, he's mobile enough to go out there in a pinch and just, be able to maintain on a switch or whatever it may be. I think one of the interesting things about him is like, he's very toolsy, but it's a nice blend of upside and floor, which is why I'm very intrigued if he's there at 20. Like, he's one of the guys I'd probably be eyeing, to be honest. Like, it's a nice balance of both. And I think typically at 20, you're picking one or the other. Like, you're getting a safe bet, or you're completely kind of like swinging for the fences and the guy might be out of the league. I don't see a world where Asa doesn't make at least a backup, like a third big situation. Yeah. At the minimum. Is he going to be a star? Maybe not, probably not. But I do think the upside, like Franky said, his ability to put the ball on the floor for a 4-man is very impressive. His touch, like the floater, 95th percentile at the rim, 87th percentile on layups. Like, the guy has touch. And, to top it off, like, he generally gets 50-50 balls around him are like 70-30. And
for sure,
you want that guy on your team.
And the Heat love those types of guys that are just
100%.
Put in the extra 15% to dive at every ball. Something about Asa before we move on that I wanted to say, and it's something that we're going to be saying about a lot of guys in this range. There's somebody that the private workouts are really going to determine the fluctuation in their draft range. We could say Asa Newell looks like he has top 10 talent, and at times he does, But until those private workouts come in with all the agents and all that, that's really where all of these draft ranges get solidified. Yep. And unfortunately, we won't have that information getting out to us until we're a little bit closer. With that being said, this next guy is also someone that I'm very interested in, especially post all these workouts. I'm curious where he's going to land and how you guys feel about him. Franky, I want to kick him over to you, but let me set up Maxime Renu. Maxime Renu. I've been practicing that all day. Stanford senior, 7'1", and a half almost. Nearly signed with Real Madrid at 16. He's fluent in 3 languages, which is perfect for Miami. And he logged 30 minutes per game in the Pac-12. Really polished guy with just high IQ. Franky, what is it about Maxime Raynaud that you think would interest the Miami Heat?
It's the skill set. I think he's one of the more versatile bigs offensively. And with this film, tell me you don't see like glimpses of Kelly besides this play. You know, like you see he's not the pump fake, the herky jerkiness. He's got a little bit more aggressiveness, but look, attacking the closeout, very talented there.
That's a Kelly keeper if I've ever seen it.
Exactly. He operated a lot in DHOs in the post. Is a really good passer. Has good touch around the rim. Mostly right-handed, but he's pretty new to basketball. Like you said, he was actually a walk-on at Stanford, and he's shown a lot of improvement over the years as a shooter. His first 2 years, he shot a combined 57% at the line. His last 2, 77.5%. Career 34.7% from deep, and that's with a good increase in volume and effectiveness. He's very aggressive. He's knows his role on offense. He gets he's not going to do too much. He's going to take what's given to him, read the defense, and you know, if you're going to blitz him, he knows what to do. If you're going to drop, he knows what to do. If you're going to be overcommit, he knows what to do. And you see it here. You can yam it down. This is a guy who I think would if we're talking Heat fit, I don't think he can play with Ware, because I think they're both 5s, and I don't think either, like if you're playing zone, yeah, that's fine, but I don't think they're I think you're sacrificing too much defensively for anything that's offense that might come from it. But I think Bam would be very comfortable with him. He's very good on spot up 3s this season, 37 for 80. It's 46%. Good at, you see all the closeout attacks. They respected the jumper is working. It's not very slow.
It's not all the way there yet,
right,
but there is something to develop.
Yes.
And the 3-point percentage, I'm very glad that you mentioned that, because Lou, I think sometimes with these senior prospects, we worry, have they reached their ceiling? You know, is there still more that we can get out of there? And I look at that jump shot, and it's not perfect, but there's more we can get out of there.
Oh, 100%. Like, you know, it's not perfect by any means, but like Franky spoke on like his free throw shooting improvement, so much so to like the point where last year he shot 37% on catch and shoot 3s, which is good within itself. He took 175 catch and shoot 3s as a 7-footer, and he made him at a 37% clip. Like, that is legit floor spacing. Like, is the jumper perfect? No, it's not. And it's okay for it not to be. You know, he is 22, so he's a little bit over, I think ideally 21 and younger. He's a little bit older than you'd like, but in terms of somebody like, he's gonna come in. I don't think, you know, he's gonna have a solid floor, and the shootings are real. Like, it's real. Like, to Moose's credit, he has to speed up the jump shot, and you can literally tell because he shot almost 50% when he was open on 3s. Like, if he shot 49% on unguarded 3s on 65 attempts. He went 32 for 65. Like, he was
I'll bet on that.
Really
I'll bet on that development all day.
And also, like, his defensive numbers are a little concerning, but you know, that's
100%.
Bigs do take a little bit more time to develop there. I don't think he's like toolsy by any sense, but like, he's got enough basketball IQ that I feel like he could potentially get with the right coaching and development and work ethic. Of course, he's got to put in the work, but I think he could be at least a neutral. And and if you play him with like a Bam, obviously that helps him a lot. You can play zone and mix it up. He also told I saw this Rafael Barlow of NBA Big Board, which I highly recommend the follow on Twitter and the podcast. He talked to him about it. He said he made a change in how he approached defense late in season. He was taught to just wall up. He said if you look at his last 10 games, he started working with someone who broke down his film on defense, and there was a better progression there. I think his defensive BPM went from 0.9 in his last 10 games as opposed to like 0.6 before. So I like that he's approaching that. Like he knows it's a weakness. He's doing something about it. And he's been consistently doing that with his shooting, with his defense. Like I think he likely goes before 20, but I think there's a realistic
telling you, I love the Kelly comp.
Yeah, he's like, for being a big, he can really put the ball on the floor.
Yeah.
So like, that's really impressive. Like if Cooper Flagg didn't exist, he was ACC Player of the Year. Like he was just that dominant in the conference. The team didn't really go too far, but I think his numbers were like 22 and 10, if I'm not mistaken. And you can feel his impact just about every game. Yeah, 20 and 11 with 2 assists and a block and a half. Like, really talented. One of the biggest things that you like to, that personally I like to see, is when they go to the draft combine and they play in the scrimmages, how do they perform? Because last year, a couple years, we saw Josh Hart do it good. Like we saw Andrew Nemhard cook. We saw AJ Mitchell get drafted, and then look at what he did with OKC, helped them get to where they are now. Obviously, was a rotation player for them during the regular season. You see these guys, make impacts. And what did Maxime Raynaud do when he went to the draft combine? He played one game. He was the best player on the floor that entire game, as we have some clips of it. For the first possession in a 5-on-5 scrimmage on these draft combine games, Biggs never touched the ball. He was involved in every offensive possession, and the team was up by like 20 at the end of the first quarter. He was lighting up another prospect from Spain, from Juventud, whatever. But he was unstoppable. And so much so that he didn't even play the second game. His agent told him to drop out because he's a guaranteed first-round pick. Yeah, like literally. He went in there, played 3 quarters, and they said, dude, you're the best player on the court here. Like, you have no business being here. I just think that's really telling of, where he can go. Like, it was against pure NBA talents. So
I do think, one last note.
Please.
I do think he's a little light right now, and like that concerns me strength-wise. He's 230. He measured in at 236.8 pounds. And with all the defensive issues, not a great athlete. So he does need to gain about like 20 pounds of muscle to play at the 5 consistently. Otherwise, he's going to be at a disadvantage in certain matchups, which, like the Kelly comp, we remember Kelly in certain matchups would get bullied by 5s, but like that's the realism of some of these guys at this level. Like they're not going to be all perfect, but that's one of my biggest concerns with him is his strength.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we could absolutely call out the reasons why he'll be dropping to 20, but for the purpose of this, we're going to say he's polished, 4-year guy, high IQ. I do see.
You went to Stanford, high IQ.
High IQ. I could see where the Miami Heat would really value someone like that. And truthfully, I could see where Bam would look at someone like that and be like, yeah, I would love to have some of that on the court beside me.
Former Wemby teammate.
What was that?
I was gonna say former Wemby teammate, and according to all the sources in France, he was Wemby's best friend. Like Wemby loved this guy. Yeah. So it's just a lot like they liked him. I mean,
we need to start the recruiting pitch for Wemby now. But that's the case.
That's why there's talk about him going potentially 14 to San Antonio.
I was gonna say before we move on to the next one, Frankie, do you want to help me out with the question here below?
We have Remy Lebeau in the chat. Appreciate your comment here. He has a question. They have a question. No chance at stretch 4. So Maxime can play on the perimeter offensively, as you saw with the clips. So like offensively, he'll play the 4, and defensively, he's the 5. Like that's the kind of guy which Kelly did. Like that's why I like that comparison a lot. Like he plays the 5, Bam plays the 4, and on offense they reverse their roles. So, like, I could definitely see that fit.
Yeah. I think he's more of a stretch 5 than a stretch 4. I think he's more a Brook Lopez than he is a Kelly Olynyk, if that makes sense in terms of like offensively. But still, like,
We didn't even show like the passing. Like
he can pass.
He can skip it, cross court passes in the post on doubles. He makes good reads, good decisions.
Yeah, 100%. And again, speaks 3 languages, so that's great for Miami. I'm a big fan. But if you guys are good with this one, I'm ready to move on to my guy, the one that I am most excited about. Unless Franky is gonna switch it up on me.
Whichever you want. Your gut.
You know what?
Stay with it, Frank. Stay with it, Moose.
Stay with it. Okay, then let's go. Let's go with my guy because I just want to knock this out. I've been dying to talk about him since like the start of the draft process. His name is Danny Wolf. It's pronounced exactly like it sounds. Danny Wolf. He's a 6'11" center, Michigan junior. But the reason that I want to talk about him is because this guy is a banger. Okay, he doesn't look the part, but he is crazy. The Wolfman. Look at him go. Guys, and here's the crazy thing. He is that hairy.
I like it just because of the werewolf combination. That lineup it helps the Kalal's nickname.
Listen,
but
100%.
He's transferred from Yale, 4.0 GPA, which is phenomenal for basketball. Everybody knows that. 8 games with 4+ assists, and he's a legit pick and pop threat. He also brings energy. This guy is always picking up his teammates and providing that little like oomph that kind of gets him to the next thing. He's always a serious presence in the game. He doesn't look the part, which is why I love him.
No, man,
talk to me about Danny Wolf or Franky. Come on.
I got you. He's got a really funky playing style. As you can see, he's like he measured in at 6'10.5" without shoes, has a 7'2" wingspan, 9 an inch standing reach, 251.8 pounds. He's like legit center size and was a point center. Like you could see the ball handling, you could see the feel, the passing touch, like he's a really unique prospect.
He's so fun to watch. This is going to sound crazy, but I'm dead serious. He has shades of Nikola Jokic and shades of Cody Zeller all at the same time. What's not to love about that?
I can see it. He just needs his arms to start bleeding to be Jokic.
Exactly. Lou, why won't he be the pick at 20?
I have no idea. Like, I think out of every big that we've talked about up until now, I think he's probably the most likely one to get selected because I think he'll be there, and B, like stylistically, he kind of covers the base of needing a backup 5, but also somebody who can play with Ware because he played almost exclusively at the 4 last year in Michigan. So I mean,
he's been doing a lot more 4 this year too, or at least in the stretch.
Yeah. Like he's, there's some intrigue there. The question is, he was isolating at ridiculous. Like he ran over 200 pick and rolls as a 7-footer. You don't let me explain that one more time. He ran 231 pick and rolls as
ran 251.
As a 7-foot center, initiating, not as a roll man, as the ball handler. And it was his most effective play type. Like, it's ridiculous to think about. Like, he's truly like one of one in terms of uniqueness. Like, I can see you talking about this guy as an easy lottery selection. I can see people say this guy shouldn't be anywhere near an NBA floor because you just don't know what he's going to do. And
honestly, I wouldn't argue against it either way. That's why I like him so much.
It's hilarious.
Outside of maybe Cooper Flagg and like some of the lottery guys that I'm going to cry over on draft night, outside those guys, there's nobody that is just more fun to watch because you have no idea what he is capable of. I don't even think he knows. Sometimes I feel like I'm watching him and he's like, oh, let me see if I can do this.
Literally. You're not even lying about that.
No, you're not. But I think the biggest swing skill offensively is the shooting. Because you can see the ball handling and for the size, it's very fluid. He's got it on a string. He looks at the whole court, like he gets his teammates involved, good placement on the passing, and good decision maker. Like look at the lefty pass in transition and secondary transition right there. Like he's talented, man. The concerns are the shooting because that's the big swing. Off the dribble though, 81st percentile. 11 for 31 on catch and shoot threes. So there's definitely some work to do. He had an 18.9 assist percentage, 1.07 assist to turnover. I think the shot, like when I was watching every catch and shoot he had some bad misses, and I think just form needs some slight tweaking.
It is.
He was 66% from the line.
That his release.
Yeah.
There's something about it. It's kind of, it almost looks like
unorthodox.
It's not going straight.
You know what it kind of reminded me, and this is obviously a great all-time shooter, but how KD kind of brings it from the side, like that's how a lot of his shots are, but he kind of doesn't have consistent release from it, and
his base is all over the place.
Yeah, like his footwork needs work. I don't think the touch is an issue, so I think he can work on this, and this will determine like his ceiling. Like he needs to be able to shoot it.
Look at that. Like he shouldn't be able to do that.
No, he shouldn't. But the ball handling is legitimate, and the passing, obviously. But defensively, a lot of concerns. He's a 4, size of a 5, not really strong, not very physical. It needs to be tougher there. I don't know. I can see the intrigue offensively. There's a very good chance defensively he's unplayable, especially like in the postseason.
Most likely, he's Cody Zeller, bro. But he's so much fun.
Ironically enough, I like the way he moves. I like the way he guards 4s as opposed to the way he guards 5s. I think as a 5 defensively, he is borderline unplayable. He's bad, right? But as a 4 defensively, I'm like, big man can move his feet. Yeah, he can move his feet. He can move his feet, like, so that, but as good as he is as a passer, because he does have these flashes, I question like some of his, like he had some really, really high turnover games. Like sometimes he just tries to do a little bit too much, or he dribbles into traffic. Like some of these things, so some of these turnovers I know are going to come down because his role is going to get much more simplified in the league. But I wonder if the intrigue with him is because of how much he was used at his position. Mm-hmm. Now, the upside to that is like Michigan was a pretty solid team and they won games with him doing that, so that's nice. But I don't know how scalable his on-ball impact is into the NBA. And if you think that's like it is, then you're talking about him higher than most.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Listen, part of it started off as a joke that I because he's just so much fun to watch. But the more I watched him, I was like, this guy can legitimately play. And I wasn't kidding about at times he looks like Joker and at times he looks like Zeller. So it's like you got both ends of it. But he's so much fun, and he's going to be there at the 20 range. And, Alf pissed me off all year not wanting a draft pick. So now I want to piss him off and take somebody that looks like that.
He looks like he's in the corner at every party, and like he has the point guard is like, yo, my buddy said what's up, wants to say what's up. And he's nodding with a beer in his head. Like that's who he looks like. I just
love everything about him. I do not anticipate him being the pick. I think it would be fucking hilarious and I would love it. And he's just fun to watch. Like, I don't think there was any prospect that I really just got more joy out of watching their highlights or scouting their game. Before we move on to our last guy of the evening, we're just going to put it out there. If anybody in the comments, in the chat, has any questions for us, please feel free to drop them below. We're always scanning and looking to see if you guys got anything for us. And that goes for the YouTube audience as well. We'll check the comments later. I always like any ones that say that I did a great job. So I'll be looking for that. Yeah, so drop your questions there and we can always get to it in the next show. Frankie, Lou, we got one more guy left. Someone that I know we're all very excited about. I think I won't speak for you guys, but in terms of like actually realistic options for 20 outside of Danny Wolf, this would probably be my guy. Love Georgetown products, and that's exactly where we're going. The freshman out of Georgetown, power forward and center, 6'10.5". Okay. We're talking about Thomas Sorber, not Sorbet, as I was calling him all year. He's a big body, big production, more assists than turnovers, played football, actually. So he brings that kind of like physical edge to his post game. And this is what's really exciting about him, Lou. 15, 9, 2, and 1.5 blocks. That was his stat line as a freshman. That is incredibly rare. He was able to impact the game basically in every single form and asset. And he was just a huge production guy for Georgia. Sorry, I lost the screen here for a second, but I'm going to kick it over to you, Lou. I can't see anything.
No, all good. Yeah, Thomas Sorber he was one of the most interesting watches. Like the way he plays is very, very interesting. I'll just start it off with a stat because I think it's fun. There's been 3 freshmen in NCAA history since 2008, since tracking was allowed. There's been 3 freshmen that have had a 7.5 block percentage, 2.5 steal percentage, and are 6'10" or taller. Those 3 freshmen are Anthony Davis, Nerlens Noel, and you guessed it, Mr. Sorbet, because he's cold with it. Like,
send in the pick.
Send in the pick. No, like realistically, he was an entire hub for Georgetown. Like, he was everything. Like the playmaking, the passing, the best, or if not the best, maybe the second best screen setter in this whole draft. Not just because he's big, but he knows how to use like his size.
Yes.
He understands angles.
He plays big, which is what I love to watch.
Yeah. A legitimate rim protector, not just a rim protector. Because I think that, like, let's differentiate rim protectors and paint protectors.
I know.
Woo, my goodness.
Hold on. I just want to highlight this pass. This was one of the craziest passes. Look at this pass. Slips, makes a touch pass, falling on his ass.
Bounce pass.
I don't know if you guys remember, but that Villanova game was when I put in the DraftBeat chat, Sorber, I don't care about where.
No.
Like, he was just somebody that throughout the season kept getting a little bit better, to a point where then he became a legitimate threat and focal point of their team.
Yeah. And it's not like he was a highly touted recruit coming out of high school. Like, I'm pretty sure he wasn't a 5-star at least. But he played himself all the way up to be in the lottery in some cases. I do think if it wasn't so, full on disclaimer, he has apparently a medical red flag on his foot or something of that nature.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. We don't know the details of it.
We don't know the details. But if you clear this guy and he's there at 20, you got to take a look at it. Even if you have Ware last year, if you got Bam, like he's just that important. I think his defense is so damn good. For a 19-year-old, his defense is where you would like for it to be. I don't, like if I'm going to nitpick his games, I don't think he's much of a vertical threat in terms of like he really struggles to get lift in traffic as a center. Like he's not going to be your best lob threat. To me, realistically, I kind of comp his game. I see a lot of Isaiah Hartenstein in his game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of them
that.
is it's funny because you wouldn't have think so, but like he's a hub, really good DHO guy, can play make off the high post, grabs every rebound, motor doesn't stop, fantastic screen setter, and on top of all this, he knows where to be defensively. He doesn't just block shots at the rim, he contests floaters, and he does both at the same time. Like, it's ridiculous how much ground he can cover defensively, and he's by far he has to be one of your favorite guys. Like if you watched Sorber play, like he was the best player on his team, and the reason Georgetown was any good had a lot to do with him.
Yeah, he's oozing with talent and potential. And Frankie, correct me if I'm wrong. It may just be me, falling in love with the draft pick, but I genuinely think he plays ahead of Ware today.
Oh, that's a take.
Yeah, I do. I think for Spo, defense matters that much, and I trust Sorber, especially picking up our defense by the end of the year. I think it would be ahead of Ware.
I could definitely see that take. The foot injury for a big man that's 260. Let me see what he weighed. He weighed in at 262.8 at the combine. Like that concerns me a lot. That's potential. That's gonna be why he's likely bought late lottery, early teens or somewhere in the teens selected. Yeah. I think if he goes to 20, I think other teams are fucking racing to trade Miami something and offer him that. This may be where the value comes in that regard. But on the court, man, I like Lou said, I think he nailed it. Everything. I love his anticipation, all the touch passing. Like they put him in the high post as a freshman, and he's making reads, picking them apart. The jumper looks smooth to me. I think there's definitely some tweaking and working with his feet and his getting reps. But you look at these passing, you look at the defense
from the outside, by the way,
at all. And when I was watching him, every time he had a big block, you can hear it on the broadcast. He would always say, "Get that shit out of here!" Like he's talking shit.
Energy, bro.
He's battling in the post. Like somebody would try to set a post, seal him inside, and he's pushing him off. He's gonna pick up some touch fouls like that, and like being over aggressive. But I like that. Like especially at a 5, I'd rather have to reel it back than have to try to bring that dog.
Hype it up. Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
And again, this is not to knock Khalil Ware because that's not my intention here. But the things that concerned us about Khalil, the things that said, well, maybe that's why he won't crack the rotation so early. That is not at all what we are worried about with Sorber. And that for me is why I just have him higher personally.
I'm going to be honest. It's not, as much like we talk about him protecting the rim because he's good at it. Like we talk about the highlights defensively, like get that shit out of here. This guy switched and held his own in the perimeter just about every game I saw. The Marquette game, he put a freaking defensive clinic on out there. He was switching, guarding Joplin. He was guarding Cam Jones on some possessions. He had 5 I tracked. He had 5 possessions on Cam Jones. Cam Jones had 2 points and picked up his dribble 3 other times, and on one he just passed right away. Ridiculous for a 6'10" guy to move his feet with one of the best scorers in the nation at guard and contain him to the point that he's pivoting his foot like he's Jaime Jaquez, freaking 27 years old in the league. It's whoever said Whiteside, no,
very antithesis.
No.
Look inside right here on this clip. Look at him battling, pushing this guy out, swipes him out of the way so he can't get positioning on. He helps. He like Lou said, he's not a great vertical threat. Like he's not going to get lobs or anything, but he has a quick second jump. He gets back down, gets back up, and the effort is there. This is the guy. Spo would love this guy.
That's what I'm saying, man. He brings the stuff that Spo loves. It's toughness, screening, communication, feel. He doesn't need 15 shots to matter or to impact the game. He's gonna find his
right. And I think we saw the couple of jump shots, 72.4% from the line. I think it's there. He shot 21% off the catch, 6 for 37 for the season from 3. Very poor. I think it was 16%. He needs to work on it, but I think it's just reps and getting that timing down. A lot of times a lot of the shots I saw, he's shooting it kind of on the way down and he's kind of off balance. So I think it's just reps and proper technique and coaching. I think he could be a respectable shooter there, especially with his good hands, good touch around the rim. He shot 68% at the rim without being a lob threat. That's fucking really good. And I just really enjoy that combination of being a rim protector, a capable switch defender, guy with good hands, and the passing a big. That's everything I want in a fucking big.
Yeah, and again, we all say we want to take a swing with this pick. At 20, Sorber is as big a swing as you could take, and I say that in a way where he may not be this franchise-changing star, but you want to take someone that is going to outplay the selection where they were selected. And this is basically what we're talking about. Frankie, if you want to set up this tweet here.
Yeah, and we got shout out to Draft Pal on Twitter, Matt Powers. He got this graphic here, which restricted area points per game added. When Sorber was on the floor offensively, they're 6.2 points better, And on defense, the other team is scoring 7.8 points less on the court. You see Raynaud
like
here. Raynaud is not as good, and he's 4 years older. Like that he's one of the best. Colin Murray Boyles, who's going to be likely a lottery pick, it blows everybody away. But Sorber is really fucking talented.
Yeah, he's really impressive. I think one last thing to touch on in terms of Sorber or Sorbet, because he's cold.
No, we're going with Sorbet. I like that because he's cold as fuck.
100%. Is not just like the points added in the restricted area. He was the best on-off big for defensive field goal percentage at the basket. When he was on the floor, Georgetown was the number 2 ranked defense in Division I basketball. When he was off the floor, they were 148th. Let that sink in. That's called impact. Like,
and
you don't
doing
need,
it as a freshman. I just saw this. He was ranked 56 coming into this class, and in 1 year he's gone from 56 to, honestly, if it wasn't for the medical red flag, I think teams would be looking at him in the late. I totally agree, Lou.
I think after 8, I think you don't know.
We said it during the combine, and this is going to sound terrible because, Sorbet, we love you. But when we saw the red flag, we were like, ooh, that helps us. That helps us. Maybe that could be just what we need to kind of like bring him down a little bit into our range.
I think the Thunder are going to fucking pounce on this guy. Like, they got Hardenstein. I comped him to Hardenstein. Like, he's a cheap replacement. It just, I don't know. I don't know.
Stash him, let him heal on.
They don't have to rush him. They did it with Topic last year. Like
him and Topic. They're just gonna destroy everything. Real quick before we wrap things up, let's just really quickly rank the guys that we just discussed. Lou, I know that we'll have like a big board episode later, so you don't have to give us their exact slots. But let's just give me, how would you have these guys? Obviously, I have Danny Wolf number 1.
Yeah, I'll tier them up. 100% tier 1 is Sorber, and I think Newell is actually in that tier with him. For me personally, completely different guys. One is a 5, one is 100% more of a 4 than a 5, so it's like a different flavor to the big. But I would say those two guys are 1 and 2. Then I would say Raynaud is over Wolf for me personally. Then I'd have Wolf, and then like 17 tiers later, I would have fucking Joan Beringer. Like,
we wasted our time because you wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, we could have talked about fucking Yannick Niederhauser, dude. That guy's a fucking
I'm not letting you talk about
baller.
anybody else. Frankie, who rank him?
We can't spell Niederhauser.
So mad at you, Lou.
I have the exact same list, same order: Sorber, Newell, Ronald, Wolf, and then.
Actually, I didn't think you would have them all up there.
I thought Frankie, when we and Frankie were watching Wolf originally, like he liked them, so I'm shocked.
No, I like Wolf. Like
I like him too.
He's fun, but I don't think he's worth.
But you don't want him.
No,
he's not the project that he should be taking on right now.
He's not the project. He doesn't have the upside. Like, he's funky, and like I don't like the shooting enough. And
that's fair.
He's just amongst these guys. Like I think they're better options. Like, if they had a later pick, if they traded back and they took Wolf, like I'd be okay, but I'm not excited. Like I'd have fun watching him, but I'm not like, this is the future.
He's not a franchise changer, but he's Sorbet is the ice cream. He's just a topping.
Listen, I get it, because for as much as I love Wolf and I would be so happy with the pick and laugh and all that, Sorbet is the guy. I mean, I've been a fan of his since while he was playing in college. I think he is the guy that, as we said earlier, he will outkick his coverage. He will outplay the draft range that he is selected in. There's upside there. He is the swing. He is far and away tier 1 of these guys for me. Then behind that, I would have Newell, and I loved what I saw from French Kelly, the guy that plays three languages. Loved him. Yeah, he's got 3 languages. Raynaud, that's the guy's name. Yeah, like the race car. And then the Croatian guy. Listen, we didn't even have film on the guy, so I can't even
French
tell you.
Too, by the way.
Well, okay, great.
He plays for Croatia in Croatia.
Great. Okay, great. Well, that just
Joan
down the
Beringer.
list.
Sorber,
Wolf, Raynaud, Newell, but Sorber far and away is my favorite. But that's going to basically wrap it up for the bigs for us. We didn't want to spend too much time on them, but we thought that these were the guys outside of that Croatian French guy that could realistically be there for us that we wanted to discuss. But We will have more for you guys next week, next Tuesday, as we move on to our next position group. I think we'll be doing wings, but
Stay
we will
tuned.
confirm next week. Make sure you join us again. As always, thank you to my co-hosts for the hard work that they do. Franky G, Saucy Takes, Lou, I appreciate you guys so much. Before we go, if you did not see last week's episode, check it out as they did a phenomenal job. We had Matt Hoffman. The phenomenal guy. I love you, Matt. Over from 5 Reasons Sports. He hopped on. He was phenomenal. He was great. I actually agreed with a lot of his takes. I found myself agreeing with him more than you guys, actually. So maybe we have to and discuss all that again. But yes, check that out. Last week was a mock draft. This week, the bigs. Thank you to everyone that is watching live, everyone that's watching the replay. Subscribe, like, post, Teen Wolf. Yeah, take us out, Frankie. Look at my guy, Danny Wolf, the Wolf Man. He's got the move.